Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. The local real estate market remains strong. However, if you are buying or selling in the current market, you do need to be very strategic in the way that you operate, because we've got many houses still selling for way over list price in these wild bidding wars. However, we are seeing a vast amount of price reductions and homes sitting on the market a little bit longer as well. So you do need to be very strategic in figuring out which camp you fall into, whether buying or selling on a house by house basis. So the stats this week are kind of surprising. Last week we had the week off for July 4th. Most people took a 3 or 4 day weekend. So I would have expected the stats and listings and whatnot to be much higher this week. However, I am a bit surprised in that this past week we saw 30 new homes come on the market in Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Morris Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. And surprisingly, that's a 17% decrease from last week. We saw less homes come on the market this week than our short holiday week last week. We saw the most number of homes come on the market in Basking Ridge with 6 homes. Out of these towns, these new homes that came on the market, 24 of those were single family houses and only 6 of those were condos or townhouses. The average list price was $1,236,000. And we saw Madison with the highest average list price of $1,862,000. Average list price was up 27% this week over last week. Total inventory. Currently, there are 238 homes actively on the market. That is an 11% decrease over last week. So not surprising, as we did see a fair amount go under contract and sell this past week, to see that number decrease. Homes sold, we saw 21 homes sell this past week, and that is a 68% decrease over the prior week. That's not extremely surprising, because even though last week was a short week, anytime you're dealing with a holiday weekend, most people are going to want to have their home sale close prior to the holiday weekend as opposed to right after. So that doesn't shock me too much. Average list price of homes that were sold this past week was $1,372,000, and the average sale price this past week of homes sold was $1,412,000. So the highest average sale price we saw in Madison with $2,161,000, and then second place Bernardsville with $2,150,000. So this past week we saw a sale to list ratio with homes selling an average of 4.3% above the list price. All the towns in our analysis that had homes sold for above list price, except for Bernardsville. Bernardsville had homes sell for an average of 5% below the list price this past week. However, the rest ranged from 3.5% above list price up to 7.5% above list price. So we're still seeing in most of these towns homes selling substantially above the list price. Days on market, homes that sold were on the market for about 35 days. That's a 71% increase over the prior week. So interestingly enough, we're still seeing homes sell significantly above list price, but we are seeing a substantial increase in days on market. They're still selling quick. We were just having such astronomically low days on market that, the percentage-wise we're way up, but still very, very reasonable number of days on market. And then under contract, we saw 31 homes go under contract this past week. The most was in Randolph with 9, and second place with Basking Ridge with 8. That's a 39% decrease in the number of homes that went under contract this week over last week. Also not surprising, because if you have a deal put together, you're in attorney review, everybody was scrambling to get that wrapped up before the holiday weekend, didn't want to bridge the weekend, the long weekend. Average list price of the homes that went under contract was $1,060,000, and median days on market of these homes was 26 days on the market. So thanks for checking in. Thanks so much for checking in with me. Check my other posts for a visual infographic of these home statistics in our target market. And thanks for checking in. I'll catch you guys again next week.